Hello, Spaceman Mike here from Spaceman Creations. Welcome to the Spaceman Creations YouTube channel. And this is my first video. Hopefully I'll be making more if you guys like it. Basically, this video is gonna go over how I made $9,000 on Etsy in 2 months, my first 2 months after buying a Glowforge. First piece of advice I'd give when starting your own business is you have to believe in yourself. Number one, you gotta believe you can do it. Somewhere in the back of your mind, you gotta know, okay, if I go a couple months or a couple weeks, whatever, without immediately seeing a profit, to not just give up. So a little bit about me. I started working EMS about 7 years ago. Worked in Austin, Texas, keeping it weird. COVID happened and it just got my mind to thinking. It's like, well, if I'm capable of handling this high stress of situations, what else can I do? Maybe start a business. So bought a Glowforge, and I can't recommend this printer enough because it paid itself off within 3 weeks of having it. 3 weeks of having this machine now, because it's an expensive machine. 3 weeks it was paid off. So definitely would recommend that. So let me give you guys an example of some of the things you can make. Beautiful, lovely signs such as this that I made for my friend's room. So one of the things is you can engrave on over 100 different materials. Engraving mostly, but cutting is of wood, acrylics, things like this. This is a cutting board. It's kind of new that we're gonna be putting in our stores. A how to cheese board, And that's the beauty of the Glowforge, is that you could come up with an idea and be able to, with a little bit of help from Adobe Illustrator, things like this, Photoshop, you're able to put it into the machine and its interface will work it for you. Here's some beautiful blue acrylic, and it's mirrored. Then also even leather. This is just some leather that I got off of Amazon that you could use. Yes, so Glowforge was it wasn't the first investment I made. The first investment that I made was in a 3D printer. Now, 3D printer, you can be very successful, but you can only make specific things with a 3D printer, so the market is more limited. It's harder to make a sign or home decor with a 3D printer. Glowforge can do that easily, and a lot of people are at home, they're wanting to decorate their homes, they're wanting to do projects at home, so you can paint your own signs, things like that. You just send them it already cut out and they pick their colors. So like I said, the Glowforge paid itself off within a month, 3 weeks. So great investment. And so the way that I made that money so quickly was Etsy. And that's another thing that I want to get more into Etsy, but I want to get a little bit into Etsy on this video. And so here is my experience with Etsy. First of all, I used Skillshare to learn about Etsy. And what I learned was, first, you need a logo. You need to be creating a brand. And that's why I came up with Spaceman Creations. And I went online to a website and they created a logo for me. Now, I did pay for mine. It was before I learned Illustrator. But if you already know how to use Illustrator, Photoshop, things like that, you create your own logo. And that's a lower startup cost for you. That's one thing that you have to keep in mind, a startup cost for your business. So, Etsy. So after I created my logo, I started to build my Etsy page. I started to tell people a little bit about myself and Spaceman Creations and how I came up with the name and things like this. Because Etsy is for homemade, vintage things, small businesses. And people go on Etsy and Pinterest and link to your Etsy to meet smaller branded companies, things like that. Tell people about yourself, where you started. Then you create listings. And your listings need to be descriptive. Now, there's different ways to go about the listings. You can be spammy and try to fit every single word of your product that you could ever think of into the description, and then the tags, which the tags are more useful for that because it keeps your main presentation from being so spammy. It just depends on how you want it. So you create the listing, and when you're creating a listing, so at this point, I'm assuming you have some sort of machine, or you're able to make a homemade product that you can put on Etsy, and you should have pretty good photos. That's a big thing, is photos. Make sure your product photography is up to point. And there's YouTube videos for all this. All the stuff that I'm telling you is things that I've learned from different YouTube videos. I'm trying to just put it together in this first condensed video. After you put your photos and you have your title and you've put your little tags in on your Etsy listing, then you create the listing. And then it's up to you how it's seen. There's multiple different ways that you go about getting your product seen on Etsy. One is Etsy ads. You pay them $1, $2 a day, and they run ads for you on Google, on Facebook, on Pinterest, things like this. Or you can do it yourself. You can create a Facebook page account, your new brand, your logo. And one thing I want to mention is so for a brand like mine, which is heavily into customization, you are going to have some sort of machine that can customize with names, with photos of people. There's a wide range. I just recommend the Glowforge because of its capabilities. All right, so that wraps us up for this video. And to go over the points was, first, believe in yourself. That's the most important thing. Believing that you can do it. It may take some time, but if you believe, very important, if you want more. And also went over what machine I have, investing in a Glowforge. Great idea. Or 3D printers, Cricut machines. There's all different kinds of machines. And Etsy, which has been the biggest source of income for me. Like I said, there's multiple different ways. There's Facebook, there's Pinterest, on Instagram. Then there you go. All right, well, this has been Spaceman Mike. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos. All right.